So our theorem 10.1 says two arcs are congruent if and only if their corresponding central angles are congruent. And so what that means is because this angle is 90 and this angle is 90, we know that their arcs will both be 90. So because those angles were congruent, then we can say arc HE will be congruent to arc IT. Our next postulate says this is like part plus part equals whole for arcs. And so we have TW. We can pretend she's like 100 degrees plus WO, which we'll say she's like 80 degrees. Together, those would add up to the whole 180 degrees. It's just saying if you have two arcs side by side, two adjacent arcs, remember that adjacent means next to each other, then those two arcs, their sum would be the measure of the two arcs. The big arc here, T to the W to the O, would be the measure of those two independent arcs added together. All right, here we go. Example 2, PR and QT are diameters. We talked about earlier how important that is because we know that this is automatically a 180 here and here. And then also it's important to note that QT right here would also be 180 here and here. So our first one, we're just finding each measure. U to the P to the Q. So start with the U, go to the P, end of the Q. U to the P to the Q. And it looks like I've got 90 and I've got 40, so I can just add those adjacent arcs together and get 130 degrees for that first one. The next one, same picture, is P to the Q to the R. So we're going to go P to the Q to the R in that order. And so that one we know is a perfect 180 because of this diameter here. Because also you can think of it as like a straight line. The linear pair rule still applies. So this is exactly 180 degrees, a semicircle. The next one, U to the T to the S. Okay, on this one, we know the 40. We know this 40 on the other side of that. We know the 50. We don't know this angle here. So there's several different strategies you could use to find it. Perhaps one of the easiest is a linear pair either this way or maybe a linear pair this way. Either way, that comes out to be 50 degrees because all four of those together would have to add up to 180. So you could think of it like 180 minus 150 minus a 40 minus another 40 would leave you with 50 degrees for the missing angle. Okay, the next one, R to S, is just 50 because its central angle is 50. And then on the U try, if you'll pause and try these on your own and then come back to it. Okay, for this first one, R then S then U, this is going to be the 50 plus the 40 plus the 50, which adds up to 140 degrees. And then for STP, let's see, S to the T to the P, you have, again, 40 plus 40 plus 50. I guess the other one was 50 plus 50 plus 40. So this one's 10 less. This one is 130 degrees.